Greetings, or perhaps I should say, Jolantru. Welcome to Deep Space Nine and to Shadowstar for this Star Trek Online Legendary Starship review. And allow me to introduce you to the legendary Scimitar Intel Dreadnought Warbird. A ship that I couldn't be more psyched up for. She's a glorious masterpiece, a DPS angel, and a bird of destruction. This ship has been one of the best DPS ships for a long time. Has always been a reliable choice. But now, she even brings tanking and support up into her, well, excellent skill set. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but still better than a master of one. This ship is going to be proving that. So, before we kick into this, with a quick look at her customization, and then a look at her stats, her consoles and her traits, and bearing in mind as a legendary ship, there's a few consoles and a few traits, and then taking her into action, please allow me to give her thanks to the people that have made this video possible. Our donators, Negus, Dante Demonic, and Skyhawkings. Our Patreons, perhaps YouTube members eventually. Tribal Typhoon, TravisGames, Darkstar's Order, Cross-Side Deplorable, and Skyhawkings. And our Twitch subscribers, Tribal Typhoon, Miss Future Teach, Fox Plays Games, and I have to say Miss Future Teach again, as she has gifted so many gifted subs there. Thank you to all of you for making this financially viable and possible. So, well, thanks to their generosity, shall we begin? So just quickly while we're sitting here, it is worth noting that as with all legendary ships, you will gain access to all their looks. This does include the wonderful Scimitar Bridge and the Romulan Bridge. Nice to see that the Scimitar Bridge though has so much more detail. You gain access to the Samshir, the Kopesh, and the Flambard Tier 6 variant looks, the Talawar, Scimitar, and Falchion, which I'm just going to say right now, they will forever remain my favourites. I think my actual favourite comes down to either the Talawar or the Falchion mostly. But hey, we all kit bash a little bit, don't we? I certainly kit bash. And then we have the new aesthetic. Adapted. With a very interesting deflector sitting down there, with two forward pincer-like segments to the ship, which I think is the greatest little change they've done to it, and then the not so nice wings. I do like how it predominantly follows the aesthetic look, but I've never really seen the Borg remove huge segments of hull, so it's a bit weird to see that this has changed so much. Would have probably worked better for me if they stretched that out a bit more and actually gave it a very long look and maybe pulled the wings up a bit. I mean, they could have adapted it so that the adapted wings they open up only they open up in both directions rather than just up, in order to create the what I will show you in a little bit of testing. Well, we've already done the testing, but a little bit of footage, because I know some of you want to see it. I also want to quickly throw out there that we do now have added to the ship. I'll show it on the Scimitar itself. Not only Romulan adapted, as you saw on the adapted, but augmented and enhanced. This comes along with various other types, Ronodanier, Falchion as we've always had, Tarvo, Talawar. You do have the original Scimitar along with Scimitar's, the Scimitar along with Scimitar's original Scimitar Beta, which, personally speaking, still looks pretty nice. And the vettering does look pretty good on the ship, especially on the the adapted. Vettering almost explodes and gives it life. Or is it just me? It's probably just me on that one. Either way, if you really want to play around with the bodies, you can change up the bottom and top sensors. Those very long spikes you can see. Yeah, just to give you an idea where they are. The wings, the bottom nacelles, take a guess what they are. The top nacelles, take a guess where they are. And the main hull, which is probably the bit I play with the most. Okay. To the knowledge that people really want. So, I'm sure some people would like to see this properly. So here we go, Render Scale 2 FOV 20. The Scimitar's Phaleron Array. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty awesome as it starts activating. So, reset that quickly. Take a real view of that. Let you guys see this. I'm showing you this because this is one of the special gimmicks of the Tier 5 console, so it's worth just showing off a little bit. And I personally do think it looks pretty good. Sorry. Here you go, come to the front. Come to the dark side. We have candy. Or our own Death Star array. Bye! Okay. With that done. And the wings collapsing again. So let's be fair, she has an intimidating presence, which only gets better as you get to know more about her. For example, she is a Tier 6 Dreadnought Warbird with a hull at level 65 of 63,000. Her hull modifier is the impressive 1.4 with a shield modifier of 1.15. A base turn rate is 7.5 with an impulse modifier of 0.15 and an inertia rating of 30. Though her warp core is the reluctant singularity, kind of a weak spot, her bonus power settings are plus 15 to weapon power and plus 5 to engines. With the impressive weapons layout of 5-3, as most people know, that tends to be the go-to, she can equip dual cannons with 4 device slots and 1 hangar bay, sporting a very special pet that we'll get into later. She also has 5 tactical consoles, 3 engineering and 3 science. This being then boosted by her bridge officer layout of a commander, which is a tactical commander with intel specialization, a lieutenant commander that has command specialization and is a engineering seat, and then 3 universal seats. These 3 universal seats are a ensign, a lieutenant and a lieutenant commander, gradually getting stronger there. She is terrifying. For those that don't know, she's simply taken the Tier 6 variant's strengths, or should I say the tactical Tier 6 variant's strengths, and taken them to its peak. Though not in the way of being powerful, but instead efficient. You see, the Scimitar has always been among the top DPS vessels. I have stated this before, I will state it again. Since the tier 5 Scimitar, she has done magnificently. The tier 6, well, she's the best of the flagships for DPS. Then, this one came along and brought to light the weaknesses of the previous Scimitars and decided to gently bandage them. Not in a way that makes her overpowered, but in an effective enough way that makes her actually a little bit more terrifying than she already was. This all comes to a head as she's now once again standing there as one of the prominent DPS vessels saying, "Challenge me." She can take more damage than she used to be able to take. She is, I want to say, though lacking in the maneuverability she used to have, as many would say. We all know the Scimitar fans like to drift. But she still has all of her DPS potential intact despite the sort of rebalancing of her maneuverability and defensive traits. Those bridge officers have just lended to help her out even more so, making her far more flexible, and it has resulted in her being, well, quite frankly, a very strong hull tank, highly adaptive support ship, especially if you X upgrade her, and actually a terrifying DPS vessel. She's not, by a long shot, she's not one of the DPS titans. But I want to put out there, I reckon she's in the top 5. I think I am, when I say top 5, I'm saying 5th place, I mean. But for DPS ships, and a Zen ship, no less, I would say that's an accomplishment. I look forward to finding out what other DPS players say, because they know better than I do. I'm a support DPS player. But yeah, crossing fingers and hoping. From that, I guess, we should go from the stats themselves and look at the other details we've got to look at. So let's try and keep this straight and as simple as I can. First of all, don't worry about the 4 weapons and all that, because there's nothing special up there with the weapons, nothing special with the deflector, impulse, singularity, shields, or marks. The only specials we got are the traits, the hanger, and the consoles. And these are split into 3 sections. First of all, I'm going to talk about the timeline stabilizer. Now this you do not get with this ship, but it's part of the 4-piece set for the tier 6 consoles. To get the ship you need the Kremin time ship. If you haven't already got it, you can get it from the Phoenix lockbox, or Phoenix prize pack, sorry. Otherwise, at the moment, there is no way to get the hold of the ship. Good luck. It is a good console to get a hold of. With a basic 15% plus cooldown reduction for side bridge officer abilities and a decent PB AoE 3km range time effect that does enhance your DPS output while reducing your enemy's abilities. On that same note and vein, we don't really want to go too much into this console, except for when we talk about the 4-piece set. what we do want to look at... Sorry guys, too fake. Right, back to it. We do want to look at these consoles. Now that includes the Console Universal Flagship Tactical Computer. Part of the flagship sets, you know, the Klingons, the Federation, and Romulans, Odyssey, Build-to-Skew, and Scimitar. Well, this next set of consoles, when the Odyssey Tier 6 was tested by me, the Tactical Odyssey Tier 6 was tested by me, I turned around and said that was the DPS Titan at that period for the Federation. Oh boy. Yeah, I actually didn't say for the Federation because I totally forgot about the Scimitar's abilities. Yeah, these consoles are part of the reason why I made that declaration though. The flagship tactical computer itself, with a plus 19% direct energy damage boosting, also has the active ability of the Fleet Weapon Accelerator, giving you a firing cycle haste, turn rate, and flight speed. All very effective and useful abilities for a ship like this. With a 33% firing cycle haste for your energy weapons for 15 seconds, a plus 50% to your turn rate strength for 15 seconds, and a plus 50% to your flight speed. And effective allies cannot activate or benefit from the Fleet Weapon Acceleration for 60 seconds, however. That's the big note to make though. It's not just you that gets boosted by this, it's everyone allied with you in your team. For a support DPS player, this is one of the most wonderful consoles we ever got, because this was something that you could come in flying with your fellow DPS friends, and you could help them deal way more damage than they would do normally. Which is why to this day I will still say one of the best support ships you can fly are the flagships. Now away from that one, we also have the Dampening Wave Emitter. With a plus 15% to your maximum shield capacity, the Violent Dampening Wave Emitter has a PB AoE 4km radiation DOT and a damage debuff and disable, dealing just over 1,000 in radiation damage per second every second for 15 seconds, and a minus 80% to the energy damage, minus 80% to energy damage for 15 seconds to your foe. It'll also disable your foe for almost 8 seconds. Very effective little dampening wave, and beautiful for, again, support players, but also effective for DPS players. Then we have the Adaptive Emergency Systems, beautiful on your tanks and DPS, giving you a plus 19 to energy damage resistance rating and a plus 3.3 to your maximum hull capacity. The Adaptive Emergency Systems damage and damage resistance buff, giving you plus 50 bonus all damage resistance rating for 30 seconds and a 30% bonus all damage for 30 seconds. This effectiveness is increased by 50% when you are below half your hull. Now let's go into this deep, because we need to for the set bonus, and this is why I brought up the timeline stabilizer as well. Under the bonus, at 2p set you gain a 2% critical chance boost and a plus 3 to your flight turn rate. Effective, right? You also have your deadly response. Now, deadly response at the 3p set, when receiving damage while your facing shield is depleted, there is a 10% chance of applying deadly response, stacking up to 3 times, giving you a bonus plus 10% bonus all damage for 10 seconds and 2,500 temporary hit points for 10 seconds. As you can tell, deadly response is very effective for DPS players. Finally, 4-piece flagship technologies improves flagship Starship console power, so all 3 of the consoles are improved when you have the 4-piece set. This allows you to have the adapted emergency systems, the minimum health requirement is changed from 50% to 75%. A massive improvement if you ask me. Fleet weapon acceleration has its duration increased from 15 seconds to 20 seconds, which is very powerful. And finally, the violent dampening wave increases its radius from 4 kilometers to 5. That is probably the most out of them, but still useful. However, as you're going to see shortly, as powerful as these consoles are, my honest opinion on them is that they do not surpass the mid-range to high-end build. Once you start going to the upper high-end and elite builds for endgame, I'm afraid these consoles actually fall by the wayside, staying only really in relevance for support players over DPS. I don't even think tanks would want to consider them anymore. A bit sad to say, but at least for at least one style of play, they maintain some relevance. Now then, let's go to something where, well, frankly, unlike the Bolter School and Odyssey, the Scimitar made a big difference. The Bolter School and Odyssey focused on separations and escort pets, kind of similar things. But the Scimitar's tier 5 consoles, they were something special. Probably because you could fly the Scimitar originally on Klingon and Federation before the Romulan faction was introduced. So, the tier 5 consoles. YouTube members who have seen the testing video will know that I actually have a lot of support for these consoles. Unlike the Federation and Klingon opposition, these consoles actually still maintain some relevance and actually some power as well. The secondary shielding, from what I could take from testing, bears some advantages from your actual shields. So let's say you can't regenerate these shields, that is something to be noted, and they will only absorb a certain amount of damage. However, if you are boosting the resistance to your shields, say an all damage resistance boost is added, then these secondary shields will take advantage of that kind of thing. But that's about the end of it. Beyond that point, they just stop taking the damage. Having said that, these are a secondary bleed point. They will absorb 33,781 points of damage for 45 seconds. And this can effectively keep you alive for a long period, especially while cloaked. Speaking of while cloaked, where is it? We have the Singularity Disruptor Unit. This enables your ship to have a passive, consistently active ability affecting your cloaking system. So unlike other consoles of the past, this was not an active ability where you had to activate it. This one was constantly in effect. While you're cloaked, your shields normally disable. However, thanks to this console, your shields will remain active. Though your cloaking will not be as effective as usual, and you have to remember the Scimitar is a very big ship, so it already doesn't have the best of cloaking. The bigger the ship, the easier for ships' detections to pick them up. However, with the shield still being online, your cloak is still going to be dangerously effective, and it's going to have a very beautiful effect combined with the next console, the Cloaked Barrage. Now, if Klingons firing torpedoes while cloaked wasn't scary for the Federation and Kirk, this should scare everyone. Firing weapons while cloaked, you are able to fire your weapons in whatever mode you wish while you're cloaked. This means if you want to proc all your basically max DPS output to go for a damage spike while you're currently cloaked, oh, you're more than welcome to do so. And you will benefit from the cloak's advantages, specifically the bonus damage attacking after cloak you normally gain. You see, funny enough, for some reason it triggers as though you have just deactivated the cloak and started firing, even though you are still cloaked. Very effective output. Combine that with flanking and you can take down some very powerful ships very fast with this ability. My honest viewpoint of the tier 5 consoles for the Scimitar is that they are very overpowered and explain a lot behind the tier 5 Scimitar's place as a DPS masterpiece. It appears we have one of our fellow Scimitar flyers nearby. Now then, to second onto this, we have a new hangar pet to talk about. Well, not new, it's been around for a while, but normally when you pick up the ship, you would have been given, but not even here, the Scorpion fighters. Right now, as much as it might be fun to put on the Snakehead fighter squadron, all I'm going to say is drop the normal and go and pick yourself an advanced Romulan drone ship if you haven't gone and got the elite. Why? Because this ship, this drone ship, is really powerful. It is one of my favorite hangar pets and one of my biggest supported hangar pets. Never do I fly a Scimitar without them. With 3 disruptive beam arrays, plasma torpedoes, the multi-spectral emitter, the triphasic emitter, the beam overload 2, the fire at will 2, the emergency power to shields 2, and the multi-spectral emitter sensor distortion 1. This ship is incredible. Plus you end up having holographic variants of so many of your enemy ships fighting alongside you. And the AI of this ship is incredible. It's intelligent. It's one of the only ones you will see actually turn back and fly alongside you when you're making a sweeping pass. We need more pets in the game with the intelligence and the abilities of the Romulan drone ship. It is definitely one of my highest supported. And considering to pick up the advanced one, you're only looking at 30,250 dilithium normally. I think that's a steal. Time to pick it up. Okay. What happened to that other Romulan ship flying around? Oi! Oh, I saw you. Now to get a bit more deadly. Let's talk about these abilities. You may have heard of these before if you have already flown the legendary Odyssey or any of the other 9 flagship ships, as these are the traits that you get with them. Supercharged weapons is a useful one for energy weapon performance enhancement by torpedoes. Whenever you fire a torpedo, you grab 1 stack of supercharged buff. The supercharged buff can stack up to 3 times, and this allows your direct energy weapons to gain a plus 10% plus 10% damage for 20 seconds, and plus 1.5% critical chance, and plus 6.6% critical severity for 20 seconds. Stacking up to 3 times does not increase the duration, however it does increase the effectiveness of each buff. Checkmate. Exotic damage and projectile weapons enhanced by control bridge officer abilities. Again, you can see why I kind of like these traits. These are, the first trait is a brilliant one for just general builds, but Checkmate is great for your support players. After all, many support players focus on the science side. Exotic damage is one of our specialties. When activating a control bridge officer ability, which support players love to do, you get a plus 30% to your exotic damage and projectile weapon damage for 15 seconds. Finally, you have adaptive hull plating, plus maximum HP to self when using hull healing or command bridge officer abilities. This is probably the one I feel is the lesser of the 3 traits. When activating a whole healing or command bridge officer ability, you gain a plus 5% to your maximum whole hit points, stacking up to 3 times. Although this has a hold duration, once they have been depleted, of course you need to re-trigger. The amount of damage you'll be taking, that's not going to happen very often. Overall guys, I want to say this. The consoles on this ship, well, the tier 6 consoles are effectively really good when it comes to mid-game builds, and for most players. However, I do love the tier 5 Scimitar's consoles, and I do think they make a great effect. I also now want to go into what they can really do, but before that, the traits, okay, there are tier 6 traits that you got from the other ships. Though 2 of them are very strong, I do feel like the final one is a little bit, pardon the pardon, could use a little buff. You get me? Just a teeny tiny buff on adaptive hull. Just a teeny tiny buff, okay? Please? Back to the consoles before I talk about the new trait, because that new trait gets me hyped. The tier 5 consoles, which I didn't talk about the set bonuses for, they have 2 set bonuses you can get, the 2-piece set and the 3-piece set. 2-piece set gives you rapid maneuvering, increasing your turn rate by 2 when leaving the Romulan battle cloak. And when leaving the Romulan battle cloak, you retain the cloak's bonus turn rate for the same duration as your normal cloaking ambush lasts. Okay. However, the Folion Pulse, that's something to talk about. It's not extremely powerful, but at the same time, yes, it bloody is. Here's its problem. It's got very, very long charge time of 12 seconds. However, its effective range is the full 10 kilometers weapons range with a 90-degree cone arc, meaning you are going to hit multiple enemies. It takes 0.6 seconds to activate the ability and has a 3-minute recharge time. After charging the 12 seconds, it will deal 128,677.9 radiation damage to foes in front of the ship. Affected foes will also then take an additional 308,827.19 damage over the course of 12 seconds. A strong enemy will be able to begin repairing and recovering themselves, but let's be straight up honest here. This is going to deal a lot of damage to enemies, and it is affected by your particle generators, your exotic damage boosting. Exotic damage players like myself have loved the Folion Pulse. The best thing about this Folion weapon is it's that powerful it can cripple almost any enemy. Its weakness can also be easily overcome. The big problem with it though is the fact that it requires the 3-piece set to have this console. But if you're wondering how I overcome it, let me put it this way. There's a very strong and effective one to use. Pause foes in front of you for 10 seconds. Begin charging and then activate the console at the 2-second mark. Or you can just really have powerful gravitational wells with extended duration. Or if you want to be really, really mean, you may have acquired the red matter ejector. This again is not only going to make your Folion weapon more powerful, but is also going to keep your enemies held within the location of it for how many seconds? Make sure you're good at pointing your weapon in the right spot and preparing to charge. You won't regret it. The combination of abilities, I didn't test that, but only because I tested that a while ago. It's powerful. It's very powerful. Not that many enemies last 12 seconds anyway. Oh well. On that note, she's the Praetor. This may be my new favourite attack patterns trait. Attack patterns grant ambush, whole healing and recharge to cloak. When activating attack pattern bridge officer abilities, once per 30 seconds, you gain a plus 18,244 hit points and a plus 15% to bonus or damage for 5 seconds. It will also reduce your cooldown of your cloak by 50% for 5 seconds. Although I don't normally use cloak, I can say this right now. That is still a very useful trait to me in comparison to my usual favourite, the best defense, which is a whole healing trait. Okay. It's very safe to say I'm happy with the new trait. She's the Praetor is probably going to be my newest attack pattern trait that I'll keep a hold of and keep in active use of. But it's enough saying all this. It's one thing to big up the ship, but let's show what she can actually do. So, I think it's time to take her into action. Let's go. Well now, just to show my support of a distinctive console, we're going to really show what this ship can do. I mean, I say that, but with these on it, she's actually not at her pinnacle of power. I could make her more powerful. I could make her a lot more powerful. But then, where is the fun in that, eh? When I could simply fly in and have my fun. Hello people, get erased. That's not taking long, is it? Oh dear, let's let that recharge. And I think, it's a Gallo class. Who's your nearby friend? I'm gonna cloak for a second and let's go find out. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh look, he's a Scimitar bug ship. My little friend has become a Scimitar. He's doing alright against that, isn't he? I mean, probably should have given him a little bit of backup. How's this for fun? Let's de-target you. De-cloak for a second. Launch one. But keep you close. Oh, he's decided he wants to be a bug ship. He's on escort. You are going to focus on me. We're going to take 30 seconds to recharge. I want to see how well you guys do when I send you in there screaming. Because that Keldon up there, that Keldon. No, 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 stop firing, stop firing. You. Yeah, you know what? Fight them alone. Yeah, bloody. Now all you could do in that short space of time, you barely scratched me. Goodbye. Dick. You know, that Keldon friend of yours, I'm gonna make him suffer for you pulling that stunt. Where's your Keldon friend? Oh, Mr. Keldon. My allies are returning. You don't have to worry about them. Oh, there he is. It's over there. Ooh. What fun. I love how that ship decided to grow closer because he could. Right. You poor thing. You have no idea what is coming your way. I'm just gonna sit here, sit back, and erase. Oh, too easy. Now, if I really want to be mean, lots of Scimitar strike ships down there. How pretty. Oh well. Engines to minimum. Decrease. Shields to minimum. Lock. Hey guys. I strongly feel like you need to sit there while this charges. Go on. Sit. Enjoy. Be prepared for this power, the likes of which you have never seen before. Goodbye. Okay. God, you suck. Was that easy? Was that easy? And we're out of here. Scimitar is my friend, always gonna be my friend. What do you reckon? Did she do good? I think she did good. Guys though, honest answers, what do you think? Put in the comments section right now, what do you think of her? Does she live up to the hype? Is she as good as she should be? She is the next up in the lineage of a ship that's always been great for DPS, but also pretty good in support and tanking. It's always been capable. Honestly guys, for me to rate her and for me to score her, it's really easy for me. As a support ship, which could be considered her weakest spot, I will give her 7 out of 10. She can have 4 science consoles capable. She's maneuverable enough, she has enough firepower, and she has good endurance and survivability. Her 3 engineering consoles also boost her up, and her special hangar gives her incredible support potential. Then there's her universal bridge officer stations, which if all utilised into the science role gives you so much support output, drain, control, heal, whatever you need. She's powerful there. That was 7 out of 10 for support. As a tank, well, as a tank, I'll give her, again, 7 out of 10. This again is because she can have 4 engineering consoles. She has the utilization within the whole area, so she's a stronghold tank. That is the main reason she's getting this score. That 1.4 gives her a lot of survivability, a lot of endurance, and her turn rate and ability to draw threat is incredible. She is a brilliant ship for tanking. But her DPS, she can side DPS, she can tactical DPS. She is a hybrid master when it comes to DPS. my honest score for her DPS wise could only been made higher if she was a miracle worker vessel. She gets 9.5 out of 10 from me. As a Zenstore, as the legendary Zenstore ship, so cost is kept in the mind. Yet, with an incredible hangar, 5 tactical consoles, capable of 6 tactical consoles, the universal bridge officers and an incredible command seating. She has command seating, intelligence seating, and those universal officers. The ability to equip dual cannons and the brilliant weapon layout, plus the maneuverability and endurance to stay in the fight as long as she needs to. This ship is still in the top echelon of DPS vessels. I will give her 9.5 out of 10. And I will continue to give her such high praise. Which is funny to say, considering back in the old day, she was not one of my favourites at all. I just came to respect her. So, with that in mind, what are your thoughts on her? What do you like about her? What do you dislike about her? Is there anything you wish that she did better? If that is possible in certain areas? Or do you think she might be a bit overpowered? I look forward to hearing your thoughts below. For YouTube members, if you wish to see the testing of this ship, that video should be up around the same time as this one. And, well, can I just say a massive thank you to all of you who have watched the very end of this video. As that support has a big effect on how well the channel does. And it means a lot to me. Can I also say a huge further thank you to my donators, my past Patreons, YouTube members, and my Twitch subscribers for their financial generosity that keeps this channel alive and helps us towards our dream. The more support you guys have given, the closer I get to going full time. The first milestone is the part-time. Well, the prolonged part-time, where you manage to turn my job that I have to do to support this right now into a part-time job. God, that's when I get to stream almost every day. I'm looking forward to that. Until next time, guys, if you're disembarking, please take care of yourselves and stay safe. But if you're wishing to join the crew of the Shadow Star, ring that notification bell and hit the subscribe so you don't miss out on the future missions. But until then, remember, Jolan true, and live long and prosper, my friends. Ciao for now.